And I walked in there, and you can imagine I was like a magpie. It's just surrounded by the most stunning crystals. I kept looking at this crystal and I didn't even know what it was, you know, because I'm just not really there at the moment. And I kept looking at it, and it was like, do you know, you must know I'm a Harry Potter fan, right? So I kept looking at it, and it's like Ollivander's wand shop, like the wand chooses you. Do you know what I mean? And so I kept looking in there, and I said, I'm sorry, I've got to go and grab that. And I grabbed it, and I held it in my solar plexus and then put it to my throat. And I just, oh my God, and it was red hot, molten lava, red hot. And I handed it to Ewan and Sarah, and they're like, oh my God, it's like you've put it in a fire. So it's meant for me, I've got to have it. This is kyanite. What I didn't know was it also has properties of healing you from sudden shocks and trauma. It brings compassion to difficult circumstances, brings calm, helps with anxiety. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Hello, my darlings. Thank you for all of your beautiful support, comments, love, your offers. It's just being part of a collective, being part of a spiritual army is just second to none. I don't know what I'd do without you. One, because I feel motivated because I'm seeing all of you. You know, one lady, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Your son's just taken himself over, and people's husbands have passed, and I couldn't believe that this would help, but it is. And that just fills my heart because it motivates me to stay connected in a collective of love and consciousness of the divine. And it also gives me that feeling that my destiny is being sorted, if that makes sense, because, not sorted, but my destiny is in alignment because I'm still bringing inspiration to you. A couple of really incredible days. Again, it's up and down. You know, insomnia has been an absolute bitch. My head won't stop. You know, the tears come, and that's all natural, so I just try and let it out as much as possible. The bus perone that I was put on, I don't know if that's helping me. I just dry-mouthed, sleepy as hell. So, ironically, the doctor pulled a sickie today. So I'm going to go down to one tablet in the morning because that's the worst when I wake up to reality. And then it's softening every day, though, I will say that. I think it's the 3rd today, 3rd of October. Just bear in mind all these videos are delayed because obviously they're scheduled. Darling Beth, who's doing my videos, my niece, she basically said, look, give yourself a break, you know, put them out every week. But I'm gonna bring them down to 4 days. I'm finding comfort in this. It's cathartic for me, and I'm looking back at the old videos, seeing how much I'm growing. It's really helping me as well. So I suggest you do your own video diary or soul journaling to see how far you come. Because when you hit rock bottom again, you think, I'm just getting nowhere, and you want to give up, and you want to duvet it, and you want the world to end, and you want to die with them. But then you see things that inspire you, and the feathers I get, you saw in the last video, it's just there everywhere. Just this morning, I said, where's my feather? And then I literally walked into the lounge, and there was one sitting in the middle of the lounge. You'll see it. That was this morning. It was like, and that wasn't there because I'd just been taking some toys off of there, some of Harry's toys. So I knew it wasn't there, and then it was there, which was great. It's not a major thing, but I don't care. It keeps me going. It's been some really incredible days, thanks to you again. So tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, I don't even know what day it is. I think it's Monday. Luke, who is a psychotherapist, has offered to do me counselling sessions. He's part of our tribe. So I start those Monday, which I'm really looking forward to. I need professional help to get rid of almost the PTSD, the trauma of watching Darren die and trying to revive him. That keeps playing out. And I thought I'd cracked it because I was just seeing the photograph of us in front of Universal, but I wake up and it's there in my head. So I need to speak to him about that. But then, beautiful, you know, that's just such a beautiful thing. And without you, there's no way I could move here unless I was in some sort of flat somewhere, you know. And I went to see this bungalow, and it looked over the estuary and the castle, and it was just so peaceful. And my sister was so excited. She said, oh my God, this is just so you. It's in nature. It's, you know, you can walk to the shops though, but she says, it's perfect. And then I suddenly got this bolt of fear that I'll be on my own again, and Darren wasn't with me, and I had to make change again. And if you know my story, especially me, myself and I, you'll know that I had all of this. I've been there and got the sweatshirt and the t-shirt. So I just went into a bit of a panic attack. I said, we've got to leave. I can't handle this now. So I think I've been pushing myself a bit too much about the move-in malarkey, because I'm so excited to come back here, because this is where it all began. This is where all my friends are. This is where all the original people were that, you know, used to come and see me and watch my dems. It just feels so right. And I found a darling little area that I want to go to, and it's just perfect for me. But I think I was pushing myself. So the message there is like, I've always been a very driven, motivated person that needs to have a plan. Mostly the Virgo in me, but also the fact that I've just always been motivated and ambitious, and I just always need to see my path ahead. I think I'm doing it too early. Because I just went into a sudden panic mode of change and having to move, and you know, I don't have to move at all, but I need to be with my family and my old friends of 30 years, you know, not just them visiting on a holiday. I need to be able to pop in for a cup of tea and vice versa. So I was like, oh, I don't want to do this, but you know what? I can go down to Devon whenever I want, and it doesn't matter about being able to walk to the beach. I can walk to the beach here. It's just the fact that I'm surrounded by family, which I need now, you know. And at the end of the day, it's you know, every single card reading I do, and every single, you know, all my spiritual people send me card readings. I've just thrown some cards for it. It's new beginnings, new home, new exciting opportunities, new career paths, and all sorts of stuff. And so that is what's going to keep me going. You and my infernal desire to help. That's what's going to get me through this. And also, it was almost like a mock training episode when I lost everything. I was homeless last time, had a road accident, blah blah blah, 5 years in bed. That's like, I'm equipped. I think my soul's equipped to deal with this, and so right, do this next. And I know that I'm being told by the angels, Darren, do that next, do this, stop, rest, whatever. And so I've learnt that from the last one. So perhaps, you know, all of that happened, one, because I was in the wrong environment, but two, to get me in training for this one. Strange things have happened. So then Sarah, my sister, she doesn't realise she's going to play a very integral part in our future. Watch this space. She doesn't realise that she's taking me to different people to help me, but what she doesn't realise is she's actually creating points of support that makes me feel, yeah. You know, we walked through Leigh and old Leigh yesterday. God, it's so beautiful there. So lovely. And she took me to the healing room. If you live near this area, right, if you live near Leigh and Hadley, up the main road, almost opposite the Nick. How weird is that? Because I stood there looking at the old police station where I used to pop in if we had an inquiry down there when I was on major investigations, and it was like, this is so random. The old Nick. It looks like it's closed down now. If anybody knows, let me know. I think it looks closed down and abandoned, which is such a shame. It's a beautiful building, but it all looks boarded up from the inside. And the healing room, you'll meet Ewan in there if you live around here. Oh my God, just go in there. I was coughing a lot. I cough a lot because of my lungs, and I know it's all part of grief and obviously the heart palpitations and stuff. And I walked in there, and you can imagine I was like a magpie. It's just surrounded by the most stunning crystals. And obviously we went in there, and straight away she picked up on my energy, and Darren, it was incredible. And we obviously discussed a spiritual healing way forward, which I'm really excited to do. And I kept looking at this particular crystal, right? I kept looking at this particular crystal, and believe me, there's some lovely sparkly things in there. The whole shop is just full, right? And she obviously does all these holistic treatments, lymphatic drainage, a lot. Beautiful soul. You and you're a beautiful soul. And I kept looking at this crystal, and I didn't even know what it was, you know, because I'm just not really there at the moment. And I kept looking at it, and it was like, do you know, you must know I'm a Harry Potter fan, right? And basically Darren had booked us Harry Potter and ABBA. I don't know what happened to those tickets anyway, for my birthday. But anyway, so I kept looking at it, and it's like Ollivander's wand shop, like the wand chooses you. Do you know what I mean? And so I kept looking in there, and I said, I'm sorry, I've got to go and grab that. And I grabbed it, and I held it in my solar plexus and then put it to my throat. And I just, oh my God, and it was red hot, molten lava, red hot. And I handed it to Ewan and Sarah, and they're like, oh my God, it's like you've put it in a fire. So it's meant for me, I've got to have it. And I didn't even know what it was. Initially, when I saw it shining, I thought it was labradorite, but I didn't even care. I knew I had to have it. And it's this. This is Kyanite. So I know that Kyanite is used for speaking your truth, for your throat chakra. What I didn't know was it also has properties of healing you from sudden shocks and trauma. It brings compassion to difficult circumstances, brings calm, helps with anxiety. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I didn't know a lot about Kyanite, but I knew I had to have it, and I knew that it was going to really help me. So as I'm holding it now, it's red hot. It's red hot, and I just literally, last night I was just doing this, I was leaning on it, and then I just rested it on my heart chakra, and it's like my best friend at the moment. It's like Wilson. Do you know Wilson from the one with Tom Hanks, the film Castaway? Is it Castaway? Wilson, the coconut. It's like, where is it? Where is it? And that's when you know when a crystal's meant for you, because when you actually, because I said, this sounds really awful. I said, but I just can't even remember in my head what the properties, the full properties of Kyanite are. And every single thing that it is used for is what I need at the moment. And it called to me, and my soul knew I needed it. Crystals are so powerful. And as you remember, the angels channeled that, didn't they, ages ago, that the Schumann resonance has raised to a vibration where it's now, you know, the frequency is really smashing with crystal energy, so it's making them stronger. And I can feel this one needs charging. I'm gonna have to go to Sarah's a little paradise down the bottom of the garden and charge this on some selenite. I think I've got some clear crystal quartz. Look, the girls, bless them. See, this is what I mean. The girls put in my little room. They put all crystals up for me, surrounding me. It's just perfect. So, and I felt a real connection to you, and it's in Leigh, where all the posh shops are. Just opposite the police station or opposite the community centre for anybody that's down in Essex that would like to go and get treatments from her. She does sound baths as well, gong baths. And we're booked in to go for a gong bath, me and my sister, in a couple of weeks' time. And I'm going to have a full Reiki session, but she's an intuitive as well. So Sarah trained her. So she will do an intuitive and just say, look, I'm just going to go whatever they bring me and where I need to go to. So there's an element of me trusting the future spiritually, like, you know, spiritual practices, who is around me, blah, 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 blah. But I've got to be gentle with myself. And that's what she said. She said, you're pushing and pushing and pushing. She just says it as it is. Ewan is just, I know she's going to be a really dear friend. And she said, you're just pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. She goes, just be, Nikki. And I think she was preempting me going to see this bungalow, because she was like, when I got in there, I just thought, this is just perfect. And then I just went into, nope, I've got to go, I've got to leave. And yeah, I put myself into panic. I'm not ready to do that. It's got to just let it flow. And if it's going to be there, it'll be there. But without you, I wouldn't have been able to come here, because, wow, it's super expensive. Like, the house next to this little bungalow was like up for 1.2 million. And you'd pay about 300 to 400 grand in paint, and it's like, wow, I'm with the posh people now. It's just an old little bungalow that, you know, it's typical, like, someone's passed and it's probate kind of thing. But it was just, the gardens, it was just so peaceful. You're just looking over the estuary. It's just, I'm so lucky. Because without you, I wouldn't have been able to do that. And I can't even thank you enough. I'm still not comfortable with it. As you know, I haven't taken anything from anybody. Never inherited anything. I've never been given anything, loaned anything, ever. I've always done it myself. And so a lot of my learning this time around is to accept help, to accept unconditional love, to not feel that I'm imposing. Just accept unconditional love. I've never done it. I've always been the one doing it. But accept help. It's really hard for someone that's driven and independent like me, but it's freeing. It's freeing. It feels like a hot water bottle. I'm not joking you. And, you know, it's just sitting around family, just watching them chatter and muck about and tease each other, and we play games and play with the toys. And then I was introduced to VR. So straight away, I went to the meditation section and just sat on a beach. And then I was in a forest, and then I was sitting by a stream doing these meditations. And so my nephew's going, what are you doing? What are you doing, Nikki? I went, I'm just sitting on a beach having a meditation. He goes, no, you've got to go over to the creepy cabin. It's all right then. It's amazing, isn't it, VR? I wonder if I could create, I don't know how you do it, create like meditations for you on VR, because it was just so brilliant. And I loved it. And the creepy cabin is creepy as. And I said to him, this is not the greatest space for me to be in with my heart palpitations. So it's all a wonderful distraction, and it helps me get through every day. You know, and sometimes I worry that I'm slipping back into denial again, like he's going to be back there when I pop back. But that will come out in the counselling. Luke, God bless your beautiful, kind heart. His voice, you just sound like you're safe and at home. Even just his voice is just beautiful, open, empathic, trusting. He's just a beautiful soul. So that's good that I'm doing that, and that's been made available to me. And yeah, I went with can't remember if I've mentioned this already. My friend Faye and my niece Grace, we went to an evening at Chelmsford Cathedral where the London Operatic Society were there. This is us. And so I got a present, which was a beautiful rose candle for healing, for calm. Rose is good for grief, massively good for grief. And violet leaf, Bergamot, Ylang. And so that's Darren's candle. We like that, so we lit another candle for him. And you can imagine the acoustics. It was just beautiful. Just to be in that space, that sacred space, and listening to the beauty of the voices, it was just lovely. So, you know, doing things like that, which I never really did my whole life. You know, went around Darren, my work, obviously friends and family visiting, our friends in Devon, but just thoughtless things like that. Thoughtless, thoughtful. And it was so peaceful and beautiful. But it's what you've got to do. You know, you try and find things to bring you contentment, because I 100% know that if I was down there in my old house, I would still be in pyjamas and I would be languishing in my grief and wanting to just die. I just know I would. You need to have positive people around you, or you will isolate and you will stay downhill and you will delay your grief. And they don't want you to do that. Let the universe provide everything to get you back to a stage of acceptance and moving on. Not moving on as in, you know, it's never going to leave me ever. But moving on as in you start thinking about the future. You start thinking about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So even now doing this, the beauty of me doing this is I'm realising I'm trying to do things that I'm not ready for. Not ready to do anything. So I just need to just be. Just be. And don't hide your emotions. If you want to cry or you want to talk about memories or talk about them or what's happened, do it. Don't hold it in to think, oh God, they're going to think I'm being miserable again. You should have the right people around you that will be open to what you need to say and talk it through with you. I'll never, ever hold my feelings back or what I want to talk about. The thing is, I find it really hard to talk about him at the moment as well. I say, oh yeah, Darren does that with me, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I go back to the memory and it's like, fucking me. It's just like we crammed from, when was it, March 2019, so it's just like 5.5 years. We crammed so much in. I know I've said this before, but every single thing that I look at is triggered because we did so much. We did so much. We had the absolute lifetime of memories and love and happiness and laughter. You know, it's like this morning, it's stupid things that trigger it off. I actually had a shower. I thought, well, I'm going to really impress my sister and have a shower. And then the trickling of the water on my face, and it took me straight back to when we were having a little canoodle, a little kiss, a little snog, under a waterfall in a gorge we were swimming in Spain. And it was just blissful. We were all alone. And there was this beautiful waterfall. We just stood under there, hugging and kissing, and it was lovely. How many people get to do that with the love of their life, you know? We had the most precious time up in the mountains, and you saw some of it, didn't you? And just silly things trigger it. It was just a shower. Last night, like my sister Sarah put on Kevin Hart, a comedy thing. She needs to have a laugh, darling. And then he started doing it. It was very, very funny actually. But he started doing this Spanish accent and boom, straight back to Spain again. Do you know what I mean? So all of the apps and the friends that we met there, I've just had to distance myself from, because it's like, that's what one of our dreams was going to be. We went over there to look for property, like to get a place together. And one of our dreams was to have a place abroad, because it's great for our joints. Good to be in good weather. We loved it, and it was part of our dream to have a place there, and hopefully if we could have a place back at home and go between the two. That was our plan. That was the whole point of going for 3 months. And yeah, I just this is what the sort of things I'll talk about with Luke, is that the triggers and how to deal with them. And you know, someone said to me about doing EMDR. I think it's the eye work, so I might look at that as well. I realised yesterday when we came out of the healing room, and this feather dropped down on the floor on this leaf. It was on a leaf, and it went and then I think I put it on another video, I can't remember. I was like, oh, thanks, Darren. And I picked it up, and I realised that, like, a voice said to me, I don't know what it was, who it was, said, this is all about you rebuilding your mind, body and soul. So start gently doing that. So it's like, right, okay, so, you know, get someone like a craniosacral therapist or someone to deal with. My back pain is excruciating, but that's all part of it, isn't it? To get someone for that, get some counselling. Might go to, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, I can think of 5 spiritualist centres, six, like within 5 minutes of here. That's the beauty of being back here as well. There's just so many spiritual centres and churches, so I might, yeah, I'm going to go and perhaps sit in the energy and get some healing there. Going to see Ylang. I'm doing sound frequency healing and my 5 to 8 fork is at Devon still, so I'm just playing 5 to 8 frequency, going for the gong bath. So I am looking after me, I'm looking after my inner child, obviously counselling as well, so I'm doing everything for me. Apart from my niece wants to take us to this most scariest. She wants to for Halloween. Kids love Halloween now, don't they? We follow the US in everything, and Halloween's huge. And she wants to take us to this, like, it's like a live ghost thing with clowns jumping out on you. I'm like, oh my God, I'll give it a go though. So I'm trying to balance myself out on a spiritual, mental, emotional, physical way, you know, to look after myself. Now, if you are in these stages, because, God, I'm hardly 5 weeks in, but I've got a lot of spiritual help around me, and you might not have that. So don't look at this and think, bloody hell, she's doing all right. You got to remember that I've been through this all. It was a different sort of loss, but when, you know, as I keep saying, the road accident, that was a catastrophic loss. And this is a catastrophic loss, but I feel like it's like, I feel like I've already been there. I'm going through the motions. I know what to do. I know what to do to get me to a space that I can cope without going down into a dark abyss of pain and misery. You can't, you know, with this legion of light on this channel, you can't go down. There's not a second goes by like bing, bing, bing. And it's people messaging, emailing, I want to offer you my services, I want to send you Reiki healing, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just incredible. That is what, see, this, I know I've said it before, but this is what it's all about. The grand collective coming in and, you know, just picking someone up when they fall. You've got to remember that grief is different, right? I remember I was a liaison officer for a murder victim family, and he had been killed by these people outside a bar. And he was a dad and a granddad, so the whole family were just, they wanted to go and kill these people. So it was quite volatile anyway. And the thing is, people, and this was the biggest thing that I learned in all the families I looked after, is that you grieve differently. Some people laugh, some people get on, some people just want to hit booze, some people just lay in bed, some people just get through the day. But the problem is other people judge them. So it's like I identified when I was talking, I don't know if it's the last video or the video before, it's like anger. I was fucking angry. And then I looked back on video and thought, oh yeah, that's okay, it's fine, you can be angry. And one of the family members, I was sitting there having a cup of tea and I could feel the tension in the air. I thought, oh my God, this is going to kick off, I think. So one bloke was on his phone laughing about something, and so one of the sister-in-laws said, oh, everything's funny to you, you know, our dad's dead, blah, 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 blah. Then another one came and said, why don't we go around and sort the seas out? And I'm like, here we go. And then it kicked off. You don't love him, you're not even grieving, you're just laughing, you da-da-da-da-da, and it went mental. And I haven't got police radio because I'm like detective in plain clothes, and I just thought, do you know what? So I just walked out and I phoned in and let the office know it was all kicking off. And I said, if it gets really bad, I'll have to get a local unit in. I'll just let them get on with it. You've got to get it all out, you know? A couple of things got broken, I think, but you can't gauge it. And every time I try and put my detective head on and say, where are you now, Nikki? He's like, oh, I'm doing this. And then you're just back to square one again. And again, I know that I've mentioned this before, but it's all part of the journey, and it's totally natural. And no matter how your loved one passed, doesn't matter how they passed, the wounding, the pain of having to go through everything is horrific. But it's not as horrific if you have, like we have, this beautiful tribe supporting everybody, and if you've got the right people around you. And I didn't have the right people around me. I had Darren, but I had got some lovely friends, don't get me wrong. But, you know, I want to be able to just, if I want to sit in my knickers, I'm a dressing girl, I can, because it's my family. If I want to just go to the fridge, I will. Do you know what I mean? My appetite's come back a bit. Tummy isn't great. But that's going to be normal for me because of what happened in Cape Verde, post-infective IBS. So I had a great life, and my holidays are fucking doomed. I'm never going on holiday again in my life. tummy's not great, so Sarah got me some aloe vera juice I'm taking every night. Try and soothe my tummy because it's not a happy bunny. So yeah, be mindful that you could look after your physical body, get grounded. Oh, one of the things I really want is my, you know, from Earthing Revolution, the throw. I've shown you before. I really miss that. So I've been standing out on the grass grounding, but at some point I'm going to have to go back, get some winter clothes and get my grounding blanket. Try and help ground myself. Working on the crystals. At the moment you might hear that meh, meh. That's my neon diffuser, and it's a, I think I've got happiness on at the moment, so it's all antidepressive, vibrant, boosting, happy essential oils cocktail going on at the moment. And I make sure that I go for a walk in nature, which is easy because the woods are just across the road. So I'm exercising, plus I'm releasing. So, and then, you know, Sarah says, look, you don't push yourself too much to heal, which is interesting comment. So I'm like, no. She goes, sometimes you just got to be and feel it and just let it out. And I'm like, no, I know. You know, so I don't want to make everything too much of a crutch. But my God, is it a brilliant crutch. Anyway, that's my update for you beautiful people. Oh, I need to let you know as well, because of the scammers, oh my God, it's doing my head in. How many scamming people and impersonators are there on this thing? What is wrong with you people? I am going to the NEC because I think it's up to about 500 people. I can't let you all down. And it'll also be an event that perhaps can give me a bit of a distraction for the weekend, because I have my sister and Faye with me, so we'll make it like a really fun weekend as well as helping you all. So the first workshop on the Friday sold out. That sold out really quickly. I think there's a couple more places for the Sunday workshop, which is activating your activating your third eye portal, which will be with a 5 to 8 frequency music as well. So I'm going to show you how to, very quick way on how to open your energy up to the divine, purely, safely and easily. And that's going to be a laying down one. So you're going to have yoga mats and everything. I'm looking forward to that one. I'll lay down with you. And it's not only that, it's just to hug you and see you. And there's so many people that were like, oh God, I'm so sad I'm not going to see you. And I thought, no, do you know what? I think I'll be ready enough to do that. It's weeks away. So I'll see you there. Unfortunately, the daughter, a couple of days after Darren passed, demanded the money back for the stand. So there will be no stand. It's just, what else can we get? What else can we grab? So there will be no stand, unfortunately. I'm really sorry about that, because obviously I was going to do book signings and readings, but I'm not paying out again. We paid half for that, but it don't matter. Yeah, that's what you think of, isn't it? A couple of days after your dad's dead. So yeah, it'll just be the workshops. I think the team are trying to work out a way for me to get my books up there, but I don't know. Just have to get them online, I suppose. And at some point before Christmas, I reckon I'll put Earthwalkers out. I don't want to push myself because I've got a couple of bits to do on it, but I'll put that out. So that's the news. And I love you all. And just another quickie. Do you remember for the members? Just know, I don't know if you've seen the post or not, but part of my motivation is you. You keep me going, because I'll feel lost and I've got no purpose. So I won't be able to do lives at the moment because, you know, I have to commit to a time. which if I'm not very well, it's not going to be great, is it? So what I've said, if you haven't seen the post, just send questions through that members only post that I've put, and then when I feel up to it, I'll answer some of your questions for you, and when I feel ready enough, I'll do lives, but I'm not ready at the moment. I've got to be kind to myself, and I hope you understand that. So that's for the VIP tribe members. I think that's all, yeah. So if you are grieving at the moment, my heart goes out to you. Invoke Archangel Raphael. Invoke Archangel Azrael if you're near the passing time, or just it's past, you know, the time's passed and you're grieving like in the raw. And then if you're on a few weeks further forward, Michael for strength and to give you the courage to make change when you're ready. Okay? So without further ado, I send my love to you all, and my gratitude is just limitless. And I'll speak to you in the next one. God bless you all.